This is Trains and Destinations, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the all-new Lenovo IdeaPad 3. Now the IdeaPad 3 is a replacement for the L340, which came out last year, in which that replaced the 330 from 2018. And the IdeaPad 3 essentially is a budget laptop from Lenovo. It slots below the IdeaPad 5, and this is above the Slim 1. In terms of price, the prices of this range around $400 up to around $600, depending on how it's equipped. This laptop's available with various processors, RAM configurations, as well as storage options. This particular one has the 10th gen Intel Core i3 1005 G1 processor with 8 gigabytes of RAM, which consists of two 4 gig sticks of RAM running in dual channel memory. And in addition, this has a 256 gigabyte SSD. And so essentially this configuration is perfect. It is perfect for general use. So you have a decent enough processor, a good amount of RAM, and just enough storage to where for general use this laptop is very nice. It is very nice. Now going over the design of the laptop, as you can see, it is a very interesting color. It looks like a beige, but Lenovo calls this almond. But as you can see, the top of the laptop is completely clean, apart from your Lenovo logo. If I zoom in a bit, you can actually see that there's a little bit of a pattern. It might be hard to tell on camera, but there's a little bit of a pattern here, sort of a lined pattern, and it is very nice. It gives the laptop a different look to it. Now, I'm not a super fan of this color, but it's definitely better than, a gold color, for example. So like I said, you can get this with different processors. On the Intel side, you can get this with a Pentium, a 10th gen Core i3, as well as a 10th gen Core i5, maybe an i7, but I'm not sure. On the AMD side, you can get this with a Ryzen 3 and a Ryzen 5, maybe a Ryzen 7, again, I'm not sure. If you want to know specifics, I would head over to Lenovo.com and look up the IdeaPad 3. In terms of sizes, the IdeaPad 3 comes in three sizes, either 14-inch, 15-inch, which this one is a 15-inch, and you can actually also get this in a 17.3 inch. So a lot of configurations right there. And in terms of the storage, you can get this with either 128 gigs of SSD storage or 256 gigabytes or 512. You might be able to get this with a hard drive too. There's another config of this, I believe, that has a 128 gig SSD along with a 1 terabyte hard drive. So again, tons of configurations for this laptop. Tons of configurations, easily customizable, so that's definitely a plus. So anyway, let's go over the ports. On the left-hand side of the laptop, I do like the layout of the ports. You don't get a ton, but they are laid out very nicely. So on the left-hand side, you have your power connector to the left, which does remind me that this is the charger for the laptop. This does have the larger battery, so thus this does have the fast charger. And I'll get to the battery and screen in a sec. So again, going over the ports, you got your barrel plug connector to the left. Next to that, you have an HDMI, and then three USB 3.0 ports all in a row. Again, that's very nice. Really like seeing that. And then on the other side of the laptop, you only have two ports. You have a headphone jack on the left, and then you have a full-size SD card reader, and that's it. So no Ethernet, no USB Type-C, but again, this is a cheaper laptop, so I wouldn't expect those kind of ports. And especially for what I need a laptop for, these ports are definitely more than sufficient. You do have two speakers, and I do like the placement of the speakers. Yes, they're not front firing, but as you can see, thanks to the little ledge there, it won't be muffled when you put the laptop down on a bed, for example, or a desk. So I do like that. The speakers are not the loudest. They're just okay, but this does come with Dolby Audio, and it does make a difference. You can see right above that, you do have your rubber feet, your intakes and sticker. And again, it's an interesting color. This is, again, called almond. It's almost like a beige, but I have to say, again, it's just a very, very interesting design. So again, the rubber feet are nice. A bit small, but again, they do come out pretty far, so this will provide a good amount of protection to the back cover here. And as you can see here, your exhaust comes out back here, so that's pretty nice to see. Now, opening up the laptop, it is a pretty standard layout. As you can see, it has your typical Lenovo keyboard, which is a good thing. Like every Lenovo keyboard, it's very nice. You know, you got good travel, good spacing. Again, if you use any Lenovo keyboard, it's basically the same. They're all the same, and thus this is a nice, quiet typing experience. So if you're someone who needs a laptop to write a ton of essays on, this will definitely do the job. And as you saw from the screen lighting up here, that's because when you double tap any of the keys, it brings up a battery indicator. So that's very nice, you know, just like on some phones. So that's a very nice feature if you want to know just really quickly, you know, how is my battery life in case I need to charge it or not. So I do like that. So going over more of the design, you do have a number row to the right here, as well as your power button. This does not have a backlit keyboard. That is not an option for the IdeaPad 3. So again, going more towards the budget nature of things. And also going towards the budget nature of things is the trackpad. Now it does have Windows Precision drivers and it has a decent click, but the trackpad is a little bit depressed already from when I got it. So I'm a little worried about the long-term durability of this trackpad. It's also a bit small. You can see there's a good amount of space here and here. So I feel like Lenovo could have put on a much larger trackpad. They certainly had the space to. But on the left here you have your stickers. Not that many, so this just tells you it has a privacy shutter, Dolby Audio, and a stylish design. And then here is your 10th gen Core i3 sticker, which, at least me personally, at first I didn't like these new Intel stickers. I miss the old blue stickers, but you know, these whole silver stickers are warming up to me. So I do like that. Let me know in the comments if you like the way the new Intel stickers look. Now anyway, going to the display, as I mentioned I would get to, this display, as I turn on the laptop, this is a 1080p TN panel display. So pros and cons to that. The viewing angles are surprisingly decent, and it is sharp, but it is not color accurate. The pros to this display, again, it is sharp, and it has relatively good viewing angles for a TN panel. However, it is not color accurate. This does hue on the cooler side. You do have that privacy shutter. So right now, as you can see, it's on. If you want to turn on the privacy shutter, or turn off the camera rather, you just slide it, and when that red dot is there, I'll zoom in on that real quick. When you see that red dot, that lets you know that the privacy shutter is turned on. So you can see the difference here. Privacy shutter off, privacy shutter on. And it is a hardware shutter, so it's really nice. It's really nice, you know. I remember the days when I put tape over my webcam, so having a physical shutter is a nice feature, and I'm definitely glad laptop makers are finally putting that in. Now, the next thing I'll get to is the battery, because this laptop does have two different sizes of battery, so be careful about that. Some versions of this laptop will come with a 35 watt-hour battery, which from what I've heard is terrible. You'll only get 3 hours of battery life with the 35 watt-hour battery. This one, though, has a 45 watt-hour battery. Now, that might not seem all that impressive. Oh, it's only a 45 watt-hour battery. But, the magic here is from that processor. This Core i3 1005G1 only runs at a base clock of 1.2 gigahertz. That's it, just 1.2 gigahertz. And so because of that, this thing is a power sipper. And so for just normal use, and you're not doing anything intensive, you can easily get 7 to 9 hours of battery life off of this laptop, which is really nice. It is really, really nice to see that. And again, it's a small battery. It does have the fast charger though, and thanks to the power efficient processor, you can get a lot out of this laptop. But like I said, there are downsides. Another one to the screen actually would be the fact that it's not that bright. So this here is max brightness, that's it. And so really in any well-lit environment, you have to use this laptop at pretty much 70 to 80% brightness, because here, this is about half brightness and it looks pretty dim, as you can see. It looks pretty dim. And then on quarter brightness, it is very dark. And so that is a downside. And now I'm going to transition and show you the UI, the apps this comes with, and stuff like that. As far as the software experience goes for the IdeaPad 3, it's pretty good. Lenovo has a pretty light build of Windows 10 with not much bloatware. So you have your typical stuff like Microsoft Office. You also have McAfee. I'll actually show you by going to the control panel. And as you can see, there's a little bit of bloatware, but it's not much. You get WebAdvisor by McAfee, OneDrive, Office 365, McAfee LiveSafe, and that's about it, apart from your standard Lenovo software. So, you know, like your typical more modern Lenovo laptops, the software experience in this laptop really is not bad. It's not cluttered, it's not full of bloatware, which to me is a pretty good thing. Now, if we jump into the task manager, we'll see exactly the specs here. So we are running the Intel Core i3 1005 G1 processor. As you can see, running at 1.2 gigahertz. It is a dual core processor, as it is a Core i3. Along with that, it has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and as well as Intel UHD graphics. I believe it's the UHD 620, because this is just an i3. It does not have the Iris Plus graphics.